I'm Jason Liggett, and today I'm joined by Carly McCrory-McKay, the Executive Director of the Champaign County Economic Development Corporation, and Don Elmore, the Director of the Illinois Small Business Development Center at the Champaign County Economic Development Center. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
I want to go back a month ago as the shelter-in-place order was put in effect by Governor J.B. Pritzker in an attempt to flatten the curve on the COVID-19 pandemic in Illinois. Carly, how did the Champaign County Economic Development Corporation react?
Sure. So internally, we were able to move pretty quickly. We had actually had a board meeting on March 11th, and that was the day that we had really kind of made some final decisions around some upcoming programming and trying to predict what this might look like moving into the future. So we had officially decided as of that day to postpone our annual Innovation Celebration event. We had a really good board meeting, and that's really kind of when things kind of started to roll out and some really big announcements were made in the community. So within about 48 hours, our team really moved virtually and online, and we got everything that we needed to get technology-wise so that we could all start working remotely from home.
Don, this pandemic has already affected the economy on an international front. How are small businesses in Champaign County handling this?
Well, of course, all of the ones I've been talking to have been pretty profoundly affected. You know, you do have some that are essential businesses and they're allowed to keep going. I've been very impressed with some of the, reworked business models. You know, some of the obvious ones are, curbside pickup for food or even goods and deliveries and using their websites for ordering. But starting with the sort of smallest moms and pops, especially the ones in the service industries, the salons, massage therapists, things like that, they are completely shut down. They don't have any options other than maybe asking people to purchase gift cards, which is just sort of, an advance on a local or micro level. It's been really, really difficult. So you have the disease part of the pandemic, and then you have the business part of the pandemic, and I deal with that one obviously much more than the health issues, although I'm concerned about them for sure.
What sort of financial assistance is there out there for these businesses?
Yeah, so the two federal programs from the SBA, the Paycheck Protection Loan Program, already put out $349 billion to small businesses, and they're close to approving another $310 billion, which is anticipated it's going to get spoken for in a matter of just probably a couple of days. There are already a lot of businesses in the pipeline that weren't able to access the first round of funding. Lots of details there. The emergency or the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, which is also through the SBA, is going to be $60 billion, which is probably close to 10 times maybe what was in it for the first round. Also very heavily are very, very active, and there are a lot of people in the queue for that. And then we have a variety of state programs, no more grants, but a number of state programs. I will point out a little bit of a plug right now. We do webinars several times a week where people can register and get the full details on every one of these programs. And I try to update that information daily because it changes daily.
Yeah, that's certainly been one of the areas that we've focused a lot of attention to is our often daily webinars. Sometimes we change the schedule up a bit just based on some of the programs that are available and the deadlines that they have. But as Don mentioned, those change daily, sometimes even multiple times a day, with additional guidance coming out all the time. So it's really important for our organization to be in the know about those programs. And we work closely with the Small Business Administration, the Illinois SBDC network, other SBDCs across the country, to really make sure that we have the most up-to-date information and that we're answering all of the businesses' questions, which are a lot of technical questions around eligibility requirements of the program, and what documentation is needed to apply and where businesses can apply, because there's some obvious differences between those that are federal programs and those that are state programs. And then also too, we've been in constant communication with our local communities and other opportunities that will hopefully soon be coming available around local community assistance with some additional funding through the CARES Act as well.
I should point out, Jason, on this note, one of the things that's very different about most of these programs is they're often not accessible for, you know, sole proprietors, self-employed people, 1099 independent contractors, and just about all of them, certainly the federal ones, are open to those types of businesses as well.
And if any of our viewers do want more information on how they can access those webinars, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, so if anybody is interested in signing up for our webinars or any of our trainings or getting one-on-one assistance, you can visit our website at cusbdc.org. Everything is completely free and confidential.
Carly, so many events have been canceled that drew in hundreds of thousands of people to the area. I'm speaking of things like Mom's Weekend, the University of Illinois commencement, as well as Ebert Fest. What does this mean for the economy in Champaign County in both the short term and the long term?
Sure. So there's obviously an immediate impact to residents and to visitors and to small businesses who often rely on these major events happening in our community. And it's really important that we continue to assess that impact and work with agency partners like our friends at Visit Champaign County to do everything we can to kind of help and predict what's coming down the road. A lot of these events are being reconsidered or postponed. Some have already been announced, of course, that they're just canceling this year and looking at next year. So that is one of the things that we are in constant communication about, is really understanding the impact, not only from the event organizer's perspective, but the negative impact that that has on our local economy and the businesses that exist here, from bars and restaurants to hotels to retail boutiques, so that we can make sure that those efforts are at the forefront of what we're doing moving forward. And it also helps to develop some of our recovery efforts, and then also some financial assistance programs that could be available locally through the municipalities.
Well, Jason, just in April alone, I mean, we think now about the events that have been canceled, but actually what they are by name, I think sort of brings it home. Just in April alone, it's the Marathon, it's the Ebert Fest, it's the Boneyard Arts Festival, and these are huge, huge events for local businesses, especially retail and bars and restaurants and hotels. More and more, this community is getting to the point where every month is busy, but April, this came at a very, very bad time, because for a lot of businesses, this is sort of where their spring and summer get going, and things sort of proceed and business is good from there. And then as it goes on, we hope that other things can be rescheduled and still have the same kind of impact. I don't even want to guess at what other events could be canceled or postponed or profoundly changed in the coming months, but definitely the impact from an event standpoint is really, really serious.
Yeah, and I think, obviously everything is kind of come in waves as far as what our focuses might be. So, when all this first began, it was really helping businesses understand things like, are they essential or not essential, and getting clarification on answers from the state or local agency partners around that question and what that meant. And if they were essential, what those operations were going to look like, and helping them understand guidance, and working with all of our partners across Champaign County to make sure that we were consistent in messaging around what the guidance is and where they can get questions answered, and helping on that front. And then it really became waves of helping businesses understand the federal and financial assistance programs, both at all levels of federal government, state government, and the local agencies. So it's been different to kind of areas of focus of what we're working on outside of, general things like resource sharing. But one of the other things that we're going to be focusing on a lot, especially with some local partners, is technical assistance for very specific topics moving forward. So we've been working to stand up some specialized training and webinars around the immediate needs, like understanding some of the new HR requirements that are coming out of legislation at the CARES Act, how to market your business during COVID-19, and just kind of, really addressing the immediate business needs, but then also trying to plan for the future and what some of those topics are going to be looking like.
Absolutely. Well, Dawn, Carly, thank you both so much for joining us today and the wealth of information that you brought. I'm sure if any of our viewers want to learn more, they can visit your website and also follow you on social media.